Hello and welcome back again. We are on this topic of radiographic testing right now, and by now we have already learned most of the things about this particular topic as to how the image is formed, what kind of X-ray films are used, what are those parameters of the films and the source which control the image quality. And we have also seen how exactly the image is formed. Okay. And then in the previous lecture we discussed about the exposure also as to how the film is exposed, how it is loaded into the exposure chamber, and how the exposure time is decided for a particular material. Okay. So, today we are going to talk about some examples and see for a given kind of defect how the contrast is created, okay, or I mean based upon how these X-rays are being absorbed by different features or different defects, how the contrast is and what is the parameters which control the contrast from a particular feature. Okay. So, X-rays as you know are most commonly used for defects which are into the bulk, and it provides you a 2D kind of shadow or a 2D profile of the defect that you can see on the X-ray film once it is developed. Okay. And this kind of defects like for example, blowholes in a casting which are inside the casting or the component which is being cast. This kind of defects are very commonly inspected by radiographic testing, so that we can see them as a contrast on the radiographic film and try and understand how they are and what kind of size they have and things like that. So, you try and understand the typical features of a particular defect by taking an X-ray image for a particular component. Okay. Another kind of casting defects which can lie inside the volume of the component of the cast component are these non-metallic inclusions. For example, if you do sand casting, many a times a sand particle can go inside the casting, and that will be a defect as far as the quality of the casting is concerned. So, let us say you have a non-metallic inclusion like this inside the casting. So, for this casting which is exposed to X-rays, in order to identify the defects. When it is exposed to X-rays, the X-rays will go through the material and finally, they will encounter the defect. Okay. So, they will also have to pass through this particular defect. Okay. And on the other hand, where there is no defect, they will simply go through the material. Okay. So, you can expect two different intensities coming out, one from the parent material itself, let us say that is I1, and the other from the defect which is I2. Okay. And for the sake of understanding it, let us give a size to this defect. Let us say it has a particular size. Let us say it has a thickness or a diameter of t, and the sample thickness so we will call that as Ts. Okay. So, this for this particular scenario, let us see how will be the contrast generated, and the contrast that you see on the X-ray film image, it will depend on what parameters. So, if you remember the contrast is given by this. Okay, so, you want to understand that this contrast how it will be for a scenario like this. So, this I 1 which is the intensity coming out from the parent material, this is the radiation intensity I naught. So, I 1 will be I naught exponential where mu s is the absorption coefficient for the sample, and I 2 which is the intensity coming out from the defect which is an inclusion in this case. So, in this case you can see it is first going through the parent material and after that it is going through the defect or the inclusion. So, there are two components in this case, one through the parent material of thickness T s minus T. So, that much of parent material which is this plus this part, and then it is going through this inclusion also of thickness T. Okay. So, for the inclusion, let us say the absorption coefficient is mu I. So, this will be mu I T for the inclusion. So, now if you simply take this I 1 and I 2, because that is what we need to get the contrast. So, on I 1 feet. So, this will give you and leaving behind finally this expression. Okay, so you can see here that this I 1 by I 2, it is primarily the difference between the absorption abilities of the material and the defect and the thickness of the defect. Okay. So, now if you take this ln I 1 by I 2, then it simply becomes and we know that C s is this. So, if you convert this in terms of ln, it will be this is the factor which will come. And we have already derived ln I 1 by I 2 is this. So, the contrast from an inclusion will be equal to this. Okay, so, from here you could see that the contrast from an inclusion is not going to depend on the thickness of the parent material, but it will depend on the thickness of the defect or the inclusion. Okay. So, you simply have to see whether this contrast is enough or not, and accordingly you have to choose those exposure parameters for getting a C s value which is easily visible to human eye. And if you remember, I said that a contrast, a minimum contrast of 0.2 is needed for good visibility on the radiographic image. Okay. So, in this case you simply have to see that for a given condition, whether this I 1 by I 2, which is basically this difference of the absorption abilities of the inclusion and the parent material, whether that is giving you a value which is more than 0.2 or not. Okay. So, for those exposure conditions which include your exposure time, the tube current and the tube voltage, if you get a value of C s greater than 0.2, then you will be able to see this inclusion on the radiographic image which is captured. Okay. Similarly, you could also get the contrast from a blowhole. So, here again we will follow a similar approach. Let this be the sample thickness, and this is the size of the blowhole that you have. So, let us indicate that as TH. Okay. So, in this case again when you expose this to X-ray radiation of intensity I naught, it will go through the parent material like this, one only through the material, and in the other case it will encounter this blowhole also. Okay. So, in this case now if you see these intensities, let us say we call this as the parent material and for the hole IH. So, IM is straightforward and for this IH so, in this case it is going through the parent material only, but a thickness which is lower by the thickness of the blowhole, okay, as you could see from this diagram. So, now if you take this ratio, which is the ratio that we want for calculating the contrast. So, in this case ln Im by IH will be simply minus mu m Tm. Okay. And so, ln IH by Im is mu m Tm. Okay. So, the contrast from the blowhole in this case is again the same equation here. So, in this case I 1 is this one, which is coming out from the blowhole, and I 2 is this. Okay. So, if you replace this over here, the contrast from the blowhole becomes Okay, so here again you could see that the contrast from the blowhole also does not depend on the thickness of the material or the thickness of the sample. It rather depends on the thickness of the blowhole or the defect. Right. So, this is how in this case you can calculate the contrast from the blowhole if you know the size of the blowhole. And if the material is known, then the mu m is also known. So, there again now you have to see whether C s is greater than equal to 0.2 or not. So, when you get a value of C s based upon this blowhole will be clearly visible on the radiographic image for the parameters which are used to capture that particular image. We can take an example to see this. Let us say this is aluminum. So, in an aluminum plate you have a void which is 0.2 centimeter and the aluminum plate is 4 centimeter in thickness. Okay, and we already derived what will be the contrast for this. G is the gradient which is known for a particular film. Okay, so now let us say you are using a tube voltage of 120 kV. So, the question here is whether this blowhole will be clearly visible on the radiographic image or not at a tube voltage of 120 kilovolt. Okay. So, for that you simply have to see at 120 kV what is mu IL, and you put the value of mu IL over here for a known G, and then see whether C s is more than 0.2 or not. Okay. So, tables are actually available for the mass absorption coefficient rather than the linear absorption coefficient. So, for different voltages the mass absorption coefficient for a particular material can be obtained from this kind of available data. So, for aluminum let us say if it is at 120 if it is let us say if it is 0.2 centimeter square per gram. So, mu IL you know will be this. For aluminum the density is 2.7 gram per cc into 0.2 centimeter square per gram. This will give you something around 0.54 centimeter inverse. And now, if you put this value over here, let us say we consider G equals to 5. So, your contrast for this will be will be around 0.24, which is greater than 0.2. Okay. So, for a voltage of 120 kV, if you expose this sample, this blowhole that you have, it will be clearly visible because the contrast is greater than 0.2. Okay. So, this was an example how you get the contrast from different kinds of defects at a particular exposure condition. Okay. And with this we come to the end of this lecture also. So, I will stop here today. I will see you next time. Thank you.